Let's get the show on the road.
Do it, man.
Start recording. Okay, so thanks everybody for coming here. I'm Cody. And looks like my computer now has an error as soon as I click a button, so that's cool. So I won't be recording it, Sam. But yeah, thanks for coming. I'm basically just doing a quick demo of a tool I've been working on for about 2 years called BLS Bible. It's a knowledge base management tool. The goal was to try and make something a little bit more palatable for the end user and contributor. So yeah, I'll just kind of go into it. I'll start off by just showing kind of how to install it. You want to head over to our GitHub repo, BLS Bible. Go ahead and clone it down. Cool. From here, if you're deploying it just on your own way, is just going to be to use Poetry. So we do a Poetry install. Install all the dependencies. And hopefully it works. Cool. And then we're just going to run it. Poetry run, BLS Bible. So real quick show some of the help documentation. So whenever you're running it, it'll give you a nice little verse of the day. And then there's 3 main positional arguments. Config, it'll let you change your configuration settings from command line. Update will help you pull updates if you make some adjustments to the data, any of the like, knowledge pages that are in there. Also, you could use update to pull in some of the apocrypha. These are like external repositories that other people manage, like payloads all the things or like hack tricks. You'll be able to pull those into BLS Bible so that you can kind of take them with you and use them within the application. So I can go ahead and show what that looks like. Should show you the different options. Yep, so you can update your local data. We also pull in MITRE data, so you can pull the latest APTs that they track or just the latest MITRE attack data set that they put out. Yeah, but to update the Apocrypha, we're just going to update Git. So Git. And this will take a while because it's actually going out to each of those repositories and, you know, pulling in all of their content into here. So I'm just going to kind of let that go in the background. And let's see if I can make this bigger. It's too big. There we go. Make that smaller. Okay, so I already worked ahead, so we don't have to wait for that. Go ahead and launch it. There are different ways that you can stand up the server. There's central, ops, and dev. Central is more meant if you're going to stand this up like in your own environment, and you just kind of want something that's read-only that you want your team to, be able to interact with. Ops is more meant for like temporary infrastructure. If you were going to set up the Bible as like a collaboration spot for a whole team to kind of work on and update during an assessment, that'll give you some write abilities inside the application. And then dev has the same write capabilities, but it also exposes some developer endpoints that helps with maintaining the the data side, I guess, checking for like broken links or any references that might be missing here or there. But for the purpose of this, I'm just going to go ahead and run the dev. Yeah. All right. There we go. Here. It's already got pulled up here. So this is the main application. You on the main screen, it's kind of broken out into 3 different categories. I'll start in TTP. This is pulled directly from the MITRE ATT&CK framework. We're using their enterprise data set. This is just kind of mapped, based on those technique and sub-technique IDs. Clicking into any of these, you'll find pretty much the same information that you would if you went over to MITRE, looked at it yourself. Over on the left, we also keep track of what guides inside of the Bible are referencing each TTP. So if you wanted to, recreate this technique or see how to go about like exploiting it, you could look at the guides that are referencing this technique, click over to there, and it would show you, hopefully some instructions on how to, carry out your activities there. Clicking here, open up same sort of information over in MITRE ATT&CK. So yeah, since we're in a dev environment, it also works for the ops environment, but there's an edit button, so you can edit the files yourself. This one's pretty much empty because most of that information is coming straight from MITRE. If you wanted to add additional information into that MITRE technique, you could, add it here. Definitely use the and save it. And there you go, it's added in the end. Then at the end of your assessment or at the end of, if you're just helping in general contribution, just make a commit and submit a new pull request and have that added into our data set. Yeah. And then on the left and right hand side, we've got Revelations and the Blue Testament. Hopefully the name is pretty obvious. Revelations, you're dealing with more offensive, red team type information. It's fairly well built out. We've got a great deal of Active Directory information in here. Pull up one of these. On the left, you'll have a table of contents to kind of quickly take you to wherever you're trying to go inside of the document. And then here we have tags. So we take advantage of tags to kind of help with some of the searching and indexing, also filtering with the search. We also use the tags for calling out, if this guide references a TTP, or also here, if it's linked, then it'll count as referencing to a TTP. But a lot of logic is done right now based off of these tags, which is pretty nifty. Just to show kind of what I'm talking about with the search, this is based off of it's searching through the folder names, the file names, and the tags associated with the files. So I type in like deep tam, that's a tag. These 2 files have references to deep tam. And we've got a TTP file that has a bunch of extra information that you can poke through. Table of contents on the left, and all the guides that reference this technique. So yeah, and then over here we've got like little slider buttons. You can have multiple panes on the left. This is where you'd have We called it a Thessalonians. I don't have it set up here, but that's where you would load in your own Git repo of your own, data that you'd like your team to have access to, but don't necessarily want it shared out with the world. So yeah, we wanted to keep that kind of separated out. But over here on the right side, we've got Purple which isn't super well built out right now. That's kind of a work in progress. But the Apocrypha is where we're using Git sub modules to pull in external resources, just to kind of show how that works. Luckily, most knowledge bases out there, they all use Markdown, which makes kind of bringing it into here a lot easier. So we're interested in GraphQL injection. Look at the README, and there's yeah, there it is. And because we're including external repositories in this, doing this type of search by itself isn't really sufficient, because it's not going to be using we can't convince these people to include tags and stuff in their repository so that we can effectively search. So there is an additional advanced search or regular expression search. If you click that button, you can use context. So if you want, n number of lines before and after your pattern is matched. Trying to think of something I could search for. Search by maybe. And this takes a little while because it's literally going through each file and searching through every single file, including the external files, to match your pattern. So here we've got our files, and it'll show you, the lines that matched on the right side here, and the file that matched on the left. I'm curious if yeah. So here we matched the hacker recipes. I guess they've got certified mention in there. We can click in there and view that page on ADCS abuse. I think that's mostly it from like a knowledge base management kind of standpoint. Kind of a lighter note, there are themes. These are super easy to add in if you have a request or you just want to add your own in. Swap between different color schemes. To match your mood or your favorite color or whatever. I prefer this one. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention. So whenever you're doing searching here, like I said, it does, and based on file name, file location, and the tags, there's also filters that we can apply. So if we wanted, Active Directory, you check that, and it would make sure that there's a Active Directory tag present. If we only want to see results for guides and not TTPs, we could have that selected. One cool thing, since we're using MITRE datasets, is that we can also filter this based off of groups that they track at MITRE. So they'll have a list of TTPs that are associated with each group. So maybe what's a good one? 41, I think. So we could search for Petit Tam, or we could say just show me techniques that APT41 is used. Go ahead and close that. And okay, none. Could just be from our data being super well tagged, or I don't know. Show TDP. No, no. Okay. Oh, it's because I have a guide selected there. That's why. So yeah, the techniques that APT41 uses, or has been seen to use. Yeah. So I wonder if I type it now. No. Active. that's cool. Kind of handy if you're trying to do like adversarial emulation, simulation type stuff. Kind of make it, pretty quick to identify the list of techniques that they might use. You can go and look at those techniques and then see what guides are referencing those techniques and kind of use that to build out um, your attack strategy. Or, yeah. Um, what else? What else? Visually, you can. I know I showed that. It shows that your technique might have multiple guides referencing it here. You can also see that visually. Right clicking, toggle guide highlights, and that'll show you what guides reference it over here. So on the offensive side, we've got all these guides that are referencing that technique. On the blue side, it doesn't look like we have any. Similarly, we can toggle TTPs on the guide side and see what TTPs are referenced by those guides, which is kind of neat. And to take this a step further and just kind of demonstrate coverage by the knowledge that you have, if we go into, let's see, directory GPOs, we show the highlights there, initial access, default counts, let's show highlights there. I know this is getting a little convoluted, but toggle it there, and toggle you, toggle you. There, that's pretty good. So at this point, you can kind of see. I'll go ahead and turn that on. Kind of see based off of, we see what TTPs are covered by this um, blue team guide. We see what techniques are covered by these red team guides, and then where there's overlap, it'll obviously be highlighted in purple, which it doesn't look like the overlap kind of ends at the parent technique. There's not really overlap in the sub technique there. Discovering. No, 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 no. Okay, but that's the idea. Kind of as these guides get built out more and more, and as they are tagged better over time, you'll be able to kind of visualize and see where do we have defenses planned for our various offenses, and do we have offense planned for things we're recommending to defend against. Just kind of help you, ensure that you have full coverage of your information. And then kind of going back to threat profiles, since we're tracking MITRE groups, we're including that in the data here. It made sense to let you kind of create your own threat profiles. The thought here is maybe while you're going through and doing some incident response, or as you're doing like incident response, or as you're doing a red team exercise or tabletop exercise, you can go ahead and create a threat profile as you go. So I'll go ahead and create one here. Then this, we'll call it Google Corp Assessment. Cool. All right. And then let's say as you go through your red team assessment, you use active scanning, so we'll add it to the HeloCorp assessment. We did some vulnerability scanning. Let's see, initial access. We used some valid accounts. Execution. We Yeah, malicious file. There we go. And put some persistence in place with scheduled task. Okay. So what we've done is we've added all of these techniques up to our threat profile. And what we can do with this, you got to click the box, and then we can match it to known profiles. Again, this is matching up to the groups that MITRE tracks. Go ahead and see that. Here we have a match to our custom profile that we've selected there to the ones that MITRE tracks. Give you kind of a count of how many techniques have we used that the APT has used, and also like a nice percentage. So that's cool. We can also export for Attack Navigator. I know a lot of our blue guys really love this. So there we go. We got our Navigator file. Navigator. This tag. Hopefully not good things. Yes. There we go. And so this highlights all of the the techniques that we had selected in the Bible. I'm super not familiar with how to use this. So, stop trying. Okay. Additionally, if you want to, you can export these to a PDF. If you just want to be able to hand your client or whoever a document that says we did these TTPs, if you'd like more information on them, here's a packet. There we go. This kind of shows, what you get from going to the MITRE website. If you have any custom information added in like this here, then it'll also be included. And anything else? Yeah, if you just want to open up, each one up in new tabs, you can. So yeah, trying to think if there's anything else. We do have like a leaderboard. You need to supply a GitHub API key in the configuration, which is like read access, so we can interact with the GitHub API on your behalf. But this pulls down all of the commits for the BLS Bible repository, and kind of ranks each contributor here. We base the ranks off of D&D, so hopefully that's a little fun. Encourages maybe some competition in providing information. Fingers crossed. Yep. And then last, if you do make changes to the data while you're running this tool locally, if you create like a new file or a new directory, it needs to be re-indexed. So just kind of come to that update button. These three here by default is usually a pretty safe bet for what you want to update. It's pretty quick. If you really want to, you can go ahead and pull the latest data from MITRE. This will pull all of the latest MITRE groups, and that'll pull the latest MITRE attack, which I try to keep up to date in the repo, so you don't have to do that. But in case I fall behind, you do have that option there. And I think that's it. So,
Buddy, did you show how to edit something and add content to?
I did. I can show that again though. So yeah, if you stood up a dev server or an op server, then you'll have access to this button here. Just allows you to edit things in page. It has nearly the same support as GitHub does as far as like rendering Markdown. You can also do preview, or if you want to split pane, you can do that. Um, so yeah, pretty straightforward. Not too crazy.
I think an important thing to call out how we use this whenever we're on assessment is to have this basically pulled up, and I think we run it in ops mode, and then we're all
Yeah,
looking at it, searching for things of, hey, what was that command that certify does in order to discover all of the ADCS servers or discover all of the current templates. Well, let me just look that up and search for certify real quick, pull
yeah,
up the TTP right in front of us, then you can do a nice, easy copy paste because we have a nice little button for copy and pasting. So it should hopefully help with those fat fingering when you're trying to get a command or something like that. So if you're beating your head against the wall and you want to look at just like, here is how Active Directory attacks can go from A to Z, then just start working your way, working down this list, and seeing hopefully where you could potentially get a land for or a foothold within the environment. So it's kind of our quick, easy, um, you know, what we used to call when we worked for the government click scripts. So they're all there, ready to available, ready to go when you are on an assessment. So you don't spend time figuring out how to run the tool. You're just trying to see if the tool is successful or the attack is successful.
absolutely. And also whenever you've got it stood up, and you're kind of working together, like Mike said, to you know, uh, you know kind of work through the checklist. If you see any errors or any typos, or if somebody did manage to fat finger whenever they were writing up the guide, then you have that ability to just go in and edit it, fix it, and then at the end of the assessment, push those changes and do the pull request. But but I think that's about it. Unless anybody had any questions, I'm just going to go ahead and pop this up there. If you're interested in staying on top of any updates or any new developments with to work on the Bible or Black Lantern Security, you can follow Black Lantern Security at Black Lantern LLC on Twitter, or you can follow me, Cody Martin, on Twitter. Um, yeah, I'll just kind of leave it open for questions.
Yeah, and if you have a question, you can go ahead and post it in the Tool Talk channel, and then if there are any in there, we can talk to them.
Yeah, or if you find any issues, please feel free to post it in the GitHub repository.
We do accept pull requests.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys have any questions, let us know. Check out our other tools on our GitHub page. We've got Bbot, we've got Offensive Azure, we've got Trevor Spray, we've got all kinds of stuff. So there's plenty of other tools that we will continue to be coming out with. I think we should be releasing a tool sometime soon. There's a new feature that we're going to be releasing for Bbot. So that'll be something that'll be an additional add-on that is made by our own Paul Mueller. So look forward to that in the next coming weeks or so whenever we get around to releasing that tool. All right. Nice job, Cody. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Happy to do it.
There
Thanks.
you go. That was awesome.
Thanks, Cody.
Bye.
Later.